guys, Jiffy with Bomb City Reptiles here. I'm coming at you from the bomb shelter, just wanting to talk about act like super. So, allelic genes or act like super genes kind of play off of each other. We already talked about in previous videos codominant genes, we talked about recessive genes, and super form is basically where an animal has both genes from both parents. So a super form of a pastel means you had a pastel, you bred it to a pastel, and the baby ended up with both pastel genes. They usually end up lighter, they look cool, and they just have both of those genes. If you breed a super to a normal, every single baby is going to be a pastel. It's just how it goes. So a super is a great animal to have, especially if you're wanting to get that one gene in all of the babies that you produce from a clutch. Act like super genes are a little different. So, for example, the genes play off of each other on the same allele on the DNA structure. So, if you have like a vanilla cream, and if you take that vanilla cream and you breed him to a normal female, half of the babies are going to be vanilla and half of the babies are going to be fire. No normals. That's because in his genetic code, half of his genetic code is vanilla, half of his genetic code is fire, and that's what he's going to be giving to every single offspring that comes out of that clutch. So those genes play off of each other. It's an act-like super gene. They're almost related. This is also present in some recessive animals. I've got a Candino here. Come here. So this is Clark, and Clark is a Candino. So his mother or father, one of the two, was an albino. The other parent was a Candy. Now those genes play off of the same allele. Even though the father didn't have albino and the mother didn't have Candy, they mixed together to form this snake. When you breed this snake, say you bred this snake to an albino female, half the babies are going to come out albino, the other half are going to come out Candino, because he's giving 50% of his genetic information to each baby that gets produced in the clutch. One half is going to be Candy, the other half is going to be albino, and you come out with some really awesome results. I mean, they're, beautiful. It's almost like, it's hard to describe. I mean, their colors and pattern is just great. They're very smooth, subtle. He's one of my favorites that I have in my collection. But it still happens within recessives and codominants. So, let go of my finger. Thank you. Put him back over here. So basically, those genes will play off of each other, but the good thing about supers and act like supers is that you're not going to come up with a normal anywhere in the clutch. You're going to have some form of that animal. So, basically like my vanilla cream that's down here. Hopefully, oh yeah. Hi, bud. Come here. So with my vanilla cream here, one of his parents was a fire, and one of his parents was a vanilla. Now, those genes played off of each other and are on the same allele, so he's a vanilla cream. If I took him and I bred him to a normal female, just like I said, half the baby's fire, half the baby's vanilla. That's an awesome way to get those genes that you specifically want. They're supers are a great thing to have in your collection, and act like supers are a great thing to have in your collection because it still gives you that ability to have some wonder about what's going to be produced in the clutch. How many fires am I going to get? How many vanillas am I going to get? It's awesome, just that wonder, especially when you're playing with codoms. But with supers, you don't really have that wonder because this is going to happen. So, like, for example, if you have a Sterling. Sterling is a super pastel cinnamon. Every single baby that comes out of that, out of mating it with a normal is going to be pastel. Every single one of them. You don't have to worry about normals. You're not going to have, anything regular. So if I took her and I bred her, to, say, a cinnamon, every baby's going to be pastel. So any baby that also gets the cinnamon gene is going to come out a pewter. It's a great way to get some dual genetic babies without having to worry about the odds of, how many normals am I going to get, It kind of increases those odds of having those specific genes that you want. Now, when you're dealing with allelic genes, you also have to deal with allelic genes that you do not want to mix. So there are lethalities when it comes to breeding specific ball pythons. And this is why you guys got to do your research on what you want to produce. So one of the lethalities, the most common known lethality, is spider to spider. You do not breed spider to spider because the super form of breeding a spider to a spider, the baby that ends up with both spider genes, is not going to live if it does end up hatching. It's a lethal gene. But at the same time, there's other genes that are allelic with spider as well. So you never want to mix a champagne, codominant gene, spider, codominant gene. You breed them to normals, you're going to get either champagnes or you're going to get spiders in those eggs somewhere. You breed both those together and you end up with a baby that has the champagne gene and the spider gene. That baby's not going to survive because those genes are allelic off of each other. Same thing with Woma. Same thing with hidden gene Woma. They are genes that you do not want to mix with spider, with champagne, with each other. You just don't want to do it. You're not going to come out with anything that's going to be good. I mean, even if you try to do it, the only babies that are going to be viable from a clutch like that are the babies that do not have both genes. That's just, ethically not sound. So steer clear of it, do your research, figure out what animals can go with what. You do not want to breed spider, you do not want to breed champagne, Woma, hidden gene Woma together at all. Those are lethalities. Now there is one exception to allelism with spider, and that's blackhead. So the blackhead gene is allelic with spider. The genes play off of each other, but the babies are viable. So if you bred a blackhead to a spider, you're going to get a snake that lives. Now the weirdest thing about this is most of the time the babies that come out with this almost look normal. They don't really have the characteristics of the blackhead or the spider. It's very weird. Very, very weird how those play off of each other. I know that some people have tried the same thing with champagne, where they breed a blackhead to a champagne, come out with a gorgeous animal, but you don't end up with the lethality of the genes playing off of each other. So that's where allelic genes kind of get amiss. You need to do your research on what animals. So if you're a new breeder and you're like, ooh, I want to make a super spider. No, don't even do it. You want to make supers? Make super pastels. You want to make act like supers? Make vanilla creams. Do your research and figure out which ones play off of each other. And you'll make some great combos. If you want, honestly, if you're going to be breeding anything, don't kind of go out there and go, oh, what's popular? Ooh, what's making money? breed what you want to breed. You know, I'm a real big fan of Champagne. I'm a real big fan of Banana. I like my lesser stuff. I like my Calico stuff. I like to breed what I like. I usually end up finding people that will, you know, give them good homes without any issues. It's just breed what you want. Some people focus on specific things. Like there's some people out there that focus primarily on Axanthic. That's what they want to produce. So all the animals that they have are variations of Axanthic. You know, you can mix those codom genes with those recessive genes and come out with a zebra bee. You know, an Axanthic pastel spider, or even a killer zebra super Axanthic super pastel spider. You can come out with some great combos like that. But that's what they focus on because that's what they love. They love those animals. So when you're doing all your genetic research, just do what you want to do. You guys got any questions? Put them down below. Go ahead and look through the other videos here. Give us a like, give us a subscribe, and we'll catch you on the flip side.